Hi everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the Mutant RDA. This is actually a collaboration between Vaping with Twisted 420 and Vandy Vape. And this is his newest RDA. It's got a lot of different options, which I'm going to show you down below. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and go down and start building on the Mutant RDA. So here we are with the Mutant RDA. This is actually a collaboration between Vaping with Twisted 420 and Vandy Vape. This is the sample box that it comes in. It's going to show stainless steel here. It tells you where to open it, which I really like. And then of course it's got Vaping with Twisted 420's logo right there with the airflows that are inside, Vandy Vape right there. On the back, it's just going to tell you a little bit of sample. And yeah, so let's go ahead and open it up. You open it up and the first thing you see is the RDA. I absolutely love this design in the back. I hope they keep it. Designed by Twisted 420 or Vaping with Twisted 420. It shows you the different airflow configurations, and then it's got this around the side, which is Mutant. And inside the packaging, you're going to get this quality control certificate showing that it's been passed by quality. Inside of here, you're going to get your 510 drip tip adapter, 2 Allen keys, your regular 510 pin because the squonk pin is automatically installed, as well as some additional screws and grub screws and O-rings. So that's that package. And then over here, you're actually going to get 2 triple fused Clapton coils. These are made of Nichrome 80. Star of the show, the big mantra, the big Mutant. So here we are with the RDA. On the bottom, it does say Mutant. Sorry, it's a little bit dirty from use. It does say Mutant. It's got your serial number. It does have the squonk pin, which is protruding. This is actually a 25 millimeter RDA. On the top, you're going to see this 810 drip tip. It is not your normal 810 drip tip. It's kind of hard to get out. I'll get it out once I open up the cap. And then you're going to get this airflow right here. There's actually different airflows on it. You can turn your airflow just like this. So all you have to do is just twist this cap and it will actually change it. Now, the thing is that it does change it for you to cut it down, but not to change airflows, and I'll show you why. When you open it up like this, this is actually 2 pieces here. This is going to be your airflow configuration, and this is going to be your top cap. This is how you would get your drip tip out because it's basically like really hard to get out otherwise. So I just put my nail in there and it comes out just like this. It is 810 goon style. It does have your O-rings right on the inside for you, but it is a little bit hard to get out because of the shape of it. It does make it a little bit hard to get out. So I did want to let you know, but you can change it to any 810 drip tip that you like. Here is the inside. This has actually got your airflow holes so that you can actually adjust your airflow. It doesn't have too much of a conical design. It's semi-conical, but not fully. The big kahuna of this whole RDA is actually going to be this chamber piece. This chamber piece actually has 4 different airflow configurations and says Mutant on here. So starting with this one, you've got your slots sideways. You've got tiny honeycomb airflow. You've got some vertical or slanted airflows, some more honeycomb but with bigger holes, and then you've got your fully slanted. So that is basically it. That's your airflow. So with this airflow ring on the inside, if you notice, if you look really close, there's actually notches in every single airflow slot. This is why I said that when you are changing your airflow, you can't just change your airflow. You would have to take off this piece in order to change your airflow to whichever one that you're selecting so that your airflow is directly on your coils. If you're only turning this to select it, your airflow is not going to be on the coils if they were not the ones right in front and already with the notches marked. Selected. So here are your different notches here, and then you've got your notches on the RDA deck. Again, it's going to be right in place. You're not going to be able to turn it. You will actually, to change your airflow, you're going to have to take it off, turn it, lock it back in with the notches for the selection that you actually choose. So I did want to let you know about that. Now here is the deck. This is going to be the star of the show. It does look a little wonky, a little different, but it has its purpose. So these are this deck is actually for vertical dual coil builds. So you're actually going to have 1 coil sitting here and standing up just like that, and then 1 coil on this side. When you unscrew this one here, it's actually unscrewing this one. When you unscrew this one, it's unscrewing this one. When you unscrew the one on that side, and you know what I mean. And then you've got this pretty deep juice well. I really like this juice well. Very, very nice size juice well. Now this post in the middle, this is actually for your squonking. If you notice, it's got a little hole here, so you're gonna have some liquid coming out the bottom and the liquid's gonna come out the top. So it's gonna saturate your wicks from the bottom as well as the top. So that's always gonna be good because you're gonna be able to multi-squonk here. In addition to that, when you do want to change out your pin, say for instance you do not want to squonk with this and you want to change out the pin, when you change out your pin, this sleeve right here is actually going to come out because you don't need it, because you're not going to be squonking, you're going to be dripping. So then you're going to have just a solid piece on the bottom like you would a regular RDA. So that is good to note, because of the fact that if you do decide that you do want to squonk afterward, when you put in the squonk pin, you have to make sure that this is installed too. When you install it from the bottom with the 510 pin, it can still be loose here. If you notice that it's loose, you want to take one of the Allen keys and you're going to tighten it up, because that is the only way to keep it in place. I'm going to be using these coils because they're actually wrapped in the perfect way that it is. If I use mine are actually wrapped the wrong way or the opposite way. So I could use these, but the only way that I would be able to actually insert these, because I would have to insert them this way, the only way that I would have to be able to insert these is, number one, kind of pre-bending them, and then it's going to be all messed up and everything else. Or if I was just dripping and this post was not there, I would have absolutely no problem, and I can actually go ahead and build with them wrapped this way. But being that the deck that I want to squonk, I will have to use the ones that came installed, or have some coils that are actually wrapped the other way, because these are actually going to sit inside just like, let me just bend that out, just like this. You see how they're actually perfect to put in there like that? Your coils do, if you're going to squonk, your coils have to be this way. I've already tried, because I have been using this, and I did try it with this one, and to have to unwrap it and rewrap it, I'm not going to do that for the purpose of this review, but you can do that as well. So let's go ahead and start loosening these up. And I'm just going to go ahead and start loosening them all. Oh, bigger one. And again, it does come with the 2 Allen keys. The only thing that it does not come with is your flathead screwdriver, which you will need if you're going to be putting in the regular 510 pin. So go ahead and loosen that one up. And if you notice, as it's loosening, these are coming out. See, it's opening up right there. Now, another good thing that I do want to mention is that once they are loosened up, there's actually a lip to hold your coils in place. You see that? So once you put in your coil, it's not going to easily come out. So it is helping you with that lip, and it's on all of them. You can see it on this one, on this one. So I think that that's absolutely a great feature. Now all you need to do is basically just drop your coil in. So you take your leg, you drop this one in here, drop this one in here, and you're done. All you need to do now is just screw it in. Look how easy that was. For a vertical coil build deck, this is probably the easiest I've ever seen, to be honest with you. So all you have to do is just hold it in place and go ahead and screw them down. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw that one down. Oops, other side. Remember that your screws are on the opposite sides. That's the only wonky part about this. So I'm just going to hold that in place and go ahead and tighten this one down. There we go. And you see how it's actually trapped in there? You see how the leg is trapped? It's not coming out. So I really, really like that about this. That is a very, very good key feature. And then go ahead and screw this one down. And again, you don't even have to hold it in. All you gotta do is just tighten it down, because it's being held in with that lip. Okay, so that one's installed, and let's go ahead and install the other one. Put one in, and the other one literally falls in right afterwards. And I'm just holding it in place to just make sure that it doesn't move left or right, but I'm not holding it down. And just go ahead and screw that one down, and oops, screw this one down. Very, very easy. I mean, I can't get any easier than that. And then there you go. All we need to do now is just clip our leads, and then we can finish up. So I'm just, another huge thing about this deck, look at how it's slanted. This, you can literally get your clippers to clip it flush. Look at this, perfectly flush. So I do want to mention that, because that is another huge deal for me, is being able to cut them flush, and having that like that, it definitely does help. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and straighten up my coil. So what I'm going to do is just grab my screwdriver or any type of tool that you generally use. That's just my way, and I know the airflow is going to be closer to the edge. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put this in here, pull it out just a little bit so it's closer to the edge, straighten it out where I want it, and that's that. And it is going to give better flavor the closer that your coil is to the airflow, no matter what type of RDA that you have. So I do suggest going ahead and pulling them out some. A second reason why you want to do that is because you definitely do not want your coils touching any type of metal, including that center post. Now, there we go. And then tilt this out a little bit. Now we're good. Now they look a lot more even. So now we can go ahead and start dry firing these, making sure that they're heating up evenly. Turn this down some. And whenever you are dry firing, if you have any type of hot spots, you definitely want to have a ceramic tweezer, nothing metal touching. That way you don't create any type of a short, and you can actually pinch your coils, you can strum your coils, you can do whatever you want with the coils, and you won't have any problems. I'll strum that one a little bit, strum that one a little bit. Okay. There we go. Starting to heat up. You see those little lightning bolts? Those are actually hot spots. You definitely do not want any hot spots in your coils. Oh yeah. Oh, you saw a little lightning bolt right there? A little hot spot. Get those out. A little lightning bolt right there. So we've got them heating up evenly. Let's go ahead and let them cool down, and then we'll wick it right up. And for today's cotton, I'm going to be using my Kendo Vape Cotton Gold Edition. And yeah, that's one of my favorite cottons. And I've got a piece right here. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and twist it up. Not too tight. I do want to keep it fluffy, but I do want to twist the ends. And what I'm going to do is just an over the carriage type of technique. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this down like this. Pull it out the bottom. There we go. There we go. Let's pull this down. Pull it out a little bit. There we go. Just pull that one there. And pull it out a little bit. There we go. And then with this piece here, I'm actually going to do the same thing and just go ahead and put it in that one. There we go. And pull it down. I really need some new tweezers like these. Really not the best right now. There we go. These are so used up they don't even look, they're bent. I need a new pair. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Get this coming out so I can pull it out. Spit it down like that. Right down so it's tight. There you go. And it's still fluffy on top, which I do like. It's not too tight right there. I'll make sure that it's nice and fluffy. And then we're going to go ahead and cut the ends. I'm going to cut the ends right about here. I do want it to lay in that juice well because there is juice that's going to come out the bottom as well. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and fluff this up and then lay it right here. Make sure it's covering the bottom. And then fluff this side up and do the same thing and just spread it out on the bottom. That way when we squonk it, it's going to get it from the top as well as the bottom, and your squonk pin is right under here. Okay? It's right there. So this is where your juice is going to be. Now you can do it like this, or you can actually cut it in half, fluff them out, whichever way that you want to do it. I actually have tried it a number of ways, and this is actually my favorite way currently. So yeah, so that's it. So now we go. So let's go ahead and squonk this baby so that you can see how it works. So I'm just going to go ahead and start squonking. You see it from the bottom right there. coming there, and it's going to start wetting it. You see it right there? It's starting to pull right there. I'll go ahead and do that. See? It's saturating from both the bottom and the top. You see it right there? You can see the e-liquid right there. So it's going to saturate from both. And this is going to saturate the top. Now, just to speed it along so we can get this moving, I'm actually just going to go ahead and start wetting the top, which is what I usually do on any RDA, whether I'm squonking or not, just to help it saturate some. And then wet some of the coil. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So now we can go ahead and pick the top cap. Again, when you're putting on the top cap, you want to know what airflow that you're going to be using, because we do have to align the notches up with it. So I'm going to say that I want this one. Go ahead and make sure that the notches are in order. I want this one here. Put that one down like that. Make sure it's locked into place like that. And now it's not going to move, but they're directly on my coil. So now we can go ahead and put this piece on. And with the airflow piece, now you can cut down this particular airflow, but you can't change it to other ones because this is not hitting the coil. This one's not hitting the coil. The only one that's hitting the coil right now is this one, unless I take the top piece off and readjust it. So that's it. That's the Mutant RDA in all its glory. So let's go ahead and go on top and have a vape. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Mutant RDA. The current airflow that I have is this one. So let's go ahead and have a vape, and then we'll talk more about it. Really good airflow. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over my pros first, and then we'll go over my cons. My first pro is going to be the aesthetics. It looks absolutely amazing. I love looking at all the different airflows. I love the fact that there's so many airflow options. Options to me is key on any type of device that's coming out. I think that we have been through the whole standard for so long that options is just a great way. Whether it gives you drip tip options or airflow options, having multiple options is definitely key for me. That's one of my pet peeves. This is definitely the easiest vertical dual coil build deck that I've built on ever. I haven't built on a ton, but it is one of the easiest ones in my opinion. I feel like your coils just literally slip in there and then you tighten them up and you're good to go. Dry fire them and wick them up and you're good to go. So I do appreciate a very simple vertical style build deck. It's very easy, but it looks a little complicated when you look at it, but it's really not. Squonk post. The squonk post, I love the fact that it actually squonks from the top and from the bottom, so you're getting your wicks wet on both ends. That to me is definitely a key feature to this, as well as the different airflow options. So those two things I think run hand in hand. Now, the squonking from the top is not a new idea. It has been done before. I actually never had the 502, but I did see some videos on it, and I noticed that it had the top squonk. Also, there was one that came out by Tony B that had a top squonk. It was more like an umbrella type. So I have had at least one that has top squonk. So I have seen it before. It's not new, but it is new in the sense that it's actually doing it from top and the bottom, in my opinion. Airflow options and patterns. Having the different types of airflow options I think is great. I'm actually going to go ahead and change it out. Let me go ahead and try the next one. Let me see. Let's try this one, which is the slots sideways. So let's go ahead and do that one. So center that one and really nice. Really nice. Now, I love the ease of it. I love the fact that you can also you can change your wicking styles. You can actually put the wicking on top like I did where you bridge it, or you can cut it in half, which it was first done that way. Or you can do it just about anyway. You can even fold them down. You can do so many different options on the wicking that it's whatever you're comfortable with would be the best way for you. I do like to lay out my cotton in the deck. You can just put it in there. It's still going to get saturated, being that the juice does come out the bottom and the top. Now, if you're dripping on it, you won't have that post in the middle. So without the post in the middle, you're going to be able to even drip a lot faster because of the fact that you're going to drip right down the center. You don't have to worry about it getting wet or anything like that. You can still do the same wicking method if you want, but you can also do it just regular if you want as well. So many options in that sense. I think you've got airflow options, you've got wicking options, options galore on this. I love the fact that it does come with an A10 drip tip. That is another pro for me. And again, it looks sexy as anything. It really, really does. I love the aesthetics of this. I love the way that it looks. But that leads me into my cons. The first con is going to have to be this drip tip. I like the fact that they added this drip tip, but I feel like they should have added a straight drip tip as well. I do like it, but it's really hard to get off, especially when it's brand new. It's like really, really hard to get off. It wasn't that hard to get off today because I've already used it before, so it is a little bit looser, but getting it off like this is a no. You can't, yeah, it's virtually impossible, at least for me. Another one is going to be the airflow selections. I love that they're there. I just wish that they were there on the airflow selection top, not in the chamber itself. The reason being is because on the chamber itself, every time that I want to change out the airflow, like right now, I have to take the whole thing off and then reposition it and then do it again because of those notches. So if maybe, I don't know, in this case, maybe a locking top cap isn't really the way to go because of the options that you're giving. Maybe just not having that so that you can actually spin it and pick it would be great, or having it actually on the airflow part of the top cap. Either way, I think it would have been a lot easier. Taking it off and putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, that to me gets a little tedious, especially when I want to try out the different airflows. But that's just my opinion. I didn't create it, so of course, you know, it's just my select opinion on that. Now, another one is going to be the wicking can be difficult because they're vertical coils for some builders, especially people that are newer to building. It's going to be a little bit difficult in that sense because of the fact that you gotta know like how much to leave on top and also leave it on the bottom. So that can be difficult. I'm not saying that it is difficult. I'm saying that it can be difficult for some. I do want to mention that because I'm trying to think outside the box of being a newer builder and an advanced builder and the things that I see in between. And that's why I mention these things, that it's a no-brainer for some of you, you know, that have been building for a while. But then again, for people that have not really tried a vertical coil, it might not be. So I do want to mention that. My biggest pet peeve is probably going to be, which there's no real way to fix it. In dripping mode, you can have your coil legs going either way. It doesn't matter because you don't have that post in the middle, and it's going to give you a little bit more leeway so that you can put them in no matter which way the coil is wrapped. In squonk mode, it has to be wrapped a certain way. That to me is giving limitations, because a lot of times, especially on the newer builders that don't know how to wrap coils or aren't into wrapping coils, when they purchase coils that are already pre-wrapped, they might be wrong, and then they're going to be like, how do I do this? You know what I mean? So that to me could be a slight con, especially if, you know, geared toward the newer vapors or the vapors that don't know how to wrap their wires or unwrap it and then rewrap it. So that I did want to mention. The flavor is good. It's really, really good. I like the airflow options. It's not the best flavor in an RDA, but it is really, really good. I know what flavor I'm vaping because it's my flavor, so I know exactly what flavor I have. So it's got really, really good flavor. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful RDA. It does come in a few different colors. The ones I have is actually the stainless steel and black. The black will actually be given away on my Patreon page. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to try another airflow selection. I actually tried the slotted one. So let me try I'm going to actually turn it to the one that is honeycomb. Let me try the honeycomb one. Because I like a lot of airflow. So personally, I've been rocking the ones that are slits open and the slanted. Those have been my go-tos. Another pro that I forgot to mention. No matter what airflow that you select, it's smooth. You have a silly, silly smooth vape. There's no turbulence whatsoever in the vape in any of the airflow selections that you choose. That is definitely another pro that I did forget to mention. So I'm going to squonk. One good squonk is all you need because it's getting from the top and the bottom. Very, very smooth. I think I like the honeycomb a little bit better. For me, it enhances the flavor just a little bit better. I'm a fan of honeycomb airflow anyway, so duh. I love honeycomb airflow. I love the smoothness to it, and I like the flavor. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. Give me a comment down below. Let me know if this is something that you would like. Do you like building vertical coils? I would love to know your opinion down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.